Today, we pay homage to Valhalla by taking a look at Midgard by Eric M. Lang. Alright, so Midgard by Eric M. Lang was released by Z-Man Games several years ago, when before a lot of people knew much about Eric Lang and before Z-Man Games was kind of what they are today. One of the things that I'm going to tell you is they were looking at doing this, re-releasing this game, and I don't know if they're going to make some rules changes or some updates. It's possible. The rules are very simple in this game. There's plenty of examples in here, and basically on the back here it outlines how the game goes. And it's a very simple game. It's kind of a drafting game before drafting was cool. You're all different tribes of Vikings, and you're all out pillaging for glory, so it's area control and drafting mechanism. And you have these tokens here, and these tokens are just going to give you points for each set. So as long as you have a Viking in each little, or for each Viking you have in each different little area, you'll get a token for like a Jotunheim token. If you have a guy here, you'd get a Jotunheim token. And if you also have one there, you get 2 now, 3, 4. You know, if you have 4 guys in Jotunheim, you get 4 tokens. So it's per each different province that you're in. So you get these province tokens, is what they're called. And basically what happens here is at the beginning of the round, you're going to have these doom tokens come out. And they're basically going to say, hey, all the Vikings in this province are going to die a glorious death. And all the ones in Angerboda are going to die a glorious death and be sent to Valhalla. So you get points when somebody goes to Valhalla. And then, so you get 2 points for each of those. And then when they're in Valhalla, you get another point. And then they come back on the boat and they're reincarnated, or whatever you want to say. But you got to keep coming back. So having a doom guy isn't bad, but then they leave the board. They're flushed away. They don't stay there. So it's kind of a trade-off. So, but it's a area control game, and you're gonna be drafting some cards. And there's 3 different colors of cards. You've got your golden cards, which are, you only get 1 of those handed out, and then you're gonna get your copper, which are the common cards, and then you're going to have your silver cards, which are, you know, a little bit more powerful cards, but they're all kind of specialized, I guess is what you'd say. And then we're going to take a look here. All players are going to be dealt 1 of these gold cards, 2 of these silver cards, and 3 bronze cards. And then you take a look, you pick which one you want, you put it down in front of you, you hand the cards to the player to your left, and then you keep passing them around until all the cards are selected. They say that the first time you just play with the 6 cards you get, but what is the fun in that? You're also going to reveal at the beginning of the round whatever gold card you have, and you're going to show that number, and whoever has the highest number gold card is the first player. And then you proceed from left from there. And then you got these pawns, and this, see, the production quality on this is actually, these cards are not good quality. The bags that these came with are the thinnest bags I've ever seen, but anyway, the pawns are just blah. Anyway, you know, you'll have your guys come in on a boat, and then they can offload by playing cards like you invade Alfheim, move up to 2 of your Vikings from anywhere on the board to an unoccupied village in Alfheim, Asgard. Alright, so they go wherever that the card says they do. basically all the rules are on the cards. This is what's great. The cards pretty much describe how you use them. So really, that's what makes this game even more simple, is the cards tell you what to do. And sometimes you can kill other people, sometimes you don't. And then you got this big bowling pin here, and that's your Viking clan leader, or whatever you want to call him. And he's worth 1.5 points. He's like a tiebreaker in an area if need be. And he basically will break ties. Let's say if you had 2 black guys here and 2 green guys, well, he's 1.5, so he breaks the tie there. Whatever. Anyway, you play 3 rounds. First time through, you do 4 actions per player, then 5 actions in the second round, then 6 actions. The end of the round, if you control 1 province in an area, you get 3 points. If you control 2 of the provinces, you get 7. If you control 3 of the provinces, in this case all 3 here, you get 12 points. The only one that has 4 provinces in it is Jotunheim, and then you get 20 points in Jotunheim if you somehow miraculously control all of those, in which case you're probably going to win. You can also send guys to Asgard or to Vanaheim up there. Basically what those do, those have special conditions, but they give you extra tokens for Vanaheim if you have the majority up here. Take 2 tokens each of any type, or if you have the majority in Asgard, you just gain 5 points flat out. Really, there's usually not a big fight for Asgard. Vanaheim can be, but anyway, at the end of the game, you're going to score extra points for each set of tokens that you have. So if you have 1 Jotunheim, 1 Mannheim, and 1 Alfheim token, you're going to score extra points for those, and those can add up pretty quick. 5 points each. So, you know, I've had times where I've gotten 5 sets, so that's 25 points. It can be a pretty big deal. But you do all this, and it's a very simple drafting game. Nothing real complicated about it. And then each round you turn up, you reshuffle all these Doom tokens, you reveal 5 new ones. And like I said, there's nothing real complicated. It's 3 rounds. And this is why they're considering reprinting it. Because now that Eric Lang's a more famous designer, people are starting to pay more attention to his designs. And hopefully that means that people will take a better look at this game. Plus, Z-Man Games has improved the overall look and feel of their games to where they can hopefully say, let's come out with better pawns than these. Let's come out with better components than these. Let's spruce up the game board. Let's maybe tweak a few rules here, make the artwork a little bit better, because these cards are just blah. Sorry, but they are. And they're not very thick either. And anyway. So overall, what do I think of Midgard? Well, once again, this early copy, the component quality is garbage. It looks like, I don't know, it's not a pretty game to look at, I don't think. The component quality just isn't there. The gameplay is there. The things I like about the game is I do like the drafting. However, I think these gold cards are something that when you do pass them around, you tend to want to keep your gold card that you get every round because they give you a pretty powerful action. But I've noticed other players don't always keep them, at least when I play with them, and sometimes that leads to me scoring big, but there are some that aren't quite as good, and that can be a bit of a problem too. But I usually run into a situation where everybody keeps their gold card, and then they start selecting from these, and then they start selecting from the bronze cards. Not always, but it just depends. So usually it goes, you keep your gold card, and if you're lucky enough that somebody passes you your gold card, you're probably going to take it. And one of the cool things, though, is that in this game, when you draft, you're going to have a few cards left over at the end, and you might have a card in here that allows you to score, like Jotunheim. So you might set up, if you get that early, you might set up the rest of the game where you're waiting on Jotunheim to get that 20 extra points, and you work on it the whole game, and sometimes it just ain't going to happen. So you're going to have to play it when you can at least get like 7 points out of it, maybe. So some of the cards, you know, they're good, but not as great as they could be. Some are amazing, like Destroy Mannheim. Choose one province in Mannheim and move all Vikings in that province to Valhalla. That can be rather mean. Especially, Angerboda is my favorite place to destroy. Because it's just fun to say, Angerboda. But that's one of the things that maybe isn't that great about the game. I'm hoping maybe they can tweak just a few things. Like I said, the card quality is not that great, but the overall gameplay is very simple. And I hope they keep it to where the cards basically tell you exactly what they do. That would be nice. Keep it nice and simple, and don't add a bunch of things to it if they do reprint it. Because I like the fact that I can just look at the cards, read them, and know exactly what I need to do. So Midgard's definitely, to me, worth checking out. My wife loves it because she loves area control. And she doesn't seem to mind the drafting portion. And, drafting's hip nowadays. So, of course, they're thinking about re-releasing it. Because drafting's all the rage. So why not release it now that people are like, oh man, drafting's cool. Well, yeah, it was cool back when Eric Lang did it in Midgard. But anyway, I hope it gets reprinted. If you can find any copies of this, it's still worth picking up. I don't know how much it goes for, but, check it out if you can find it. And if it gets reprinted, definitely consider picking it up. It's a mainstay in my collection and won't be going anywhere, or the wife would kill me. It's a pretty decent game. I can't argue with it. Midgard.